Alright, again, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. I am Dr. Suhaila binti Muhammad Yassin. I'm a lecturer from the Department of Software Engineering, Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology. My role so far in this faculty has been the course lecturer for Degree Project 1. The course code is BIC 31602 and I am the class lecturer for the Degree Project 1 for BIP program, the Bachelor of Computer Science in Software Engineering with honors. So today, what I will brief you is on the content, not the content, actually more on the feature of this course BIC 31602, the degree project 1, because before this, in the previous briefing, you are informed by the PSM committee of the unique structure of this course, BIC 31602. It's different than the other courses in terms of that it consists of a class and also a seminar and a defense phase where you need to first defend your project title and then proceed with completing your project and attend the classes and lastly attend the PSM1 seminar or final year project 1 seminar. Sorry, this is a continuation of the previous briefing. Okay, while we're talking about BIC 31602, the course code, we must talk about the lesson plan. So if you try to find or later when you register for this course, you will be given this document. We call it the lesson plan. Here's what it looks like. So I'm going to walk through you to the document. Hold on. So this is the current document, the lesson plan for this semester. You are going to take this course on the next semester, which is semester 1, academic session 2025-2026. So I'm going to brief you on what's currently going on. So the syllabus for this course is, first we go to the course name, of course. The name is Degree Project 1 with the course code BIC 31602. This is a compulsory course that you have to take in order for you to complete your graduation, right? So the course emphasizes on the concept and methodology of the undergraduate project development or research, meaning everyone will go through the same process, but you are given the choice whether to do a software project development or a research project. So the topics discussed in this course will be introduction to the undergraduate project, introduction to either the development or research project, moving to the literature review, research development methodology or project development methodology, the analysis and design phase. This is specifically for software development project, and then the preparation of a PSM technical report, followed by lastly presentation of the PSM1 report and discussions and conclusions. So this semester, I am the coordinator and also the class lecturer, but we also have another lecturer who taught the same course code, but for the BIS student, right? So in terms of the course learning outcomes, there are 3 course learning outcomes. CLO1 is you will have to learn on how to adapt project or research development methodology in the field of computing and ICT. Okay, hold on. I'm going to check for a bit whether the recording is still going on or not. Okay. So your evaluation will be at the level of C4, cognitive level 4. And the next one, CLO2, is to prepare proposal, papers, and project or research development report that will demonstrate your values, morals, and professional ethics. So that falls under psychomotor 4. And lastly, you will have to undergo a project presentation or a research project presentation, and it must follow the guideline for the implementation of the degree project. So this falls under affective level 2. Okay, in the course, you will be evaluated by actually 3 people. I will show it to you later. But in terms of guidance, there will be the class lecturer and also the supervisor. So you have to earn at least 50% of your score on all of this assessment. As you can see, in the degree project 1, there are a lot of assessment. There are quiz, assignments, 3 assignments, and then PSM1 report, PSM1 technical paper, that is the AITCS proceeding paper, and lastly, your presentation slide or poster for the PSM1 seminar. Okay, you are welcome to ask questions while we are going through the lesson plan. If you find anything that you would like to ask about the lesson plan, please do so. So as you know, normally all courses run for 14 weeks, right? So it's the same with degree project 1. We also run for 14 weeks. However, usually by week 12, you are required to submit all of your PSM1 files. So I will try, as the class lecturer, we will try to end the class early or to cover as much as we can before the submission time. So this is what you learn beginning from the proposal. It will be in the introduction to degree project and also chapter 1 in the next week, week 2, and then followed by chapter 2, which is the literature review in week 3 and week 4. And the next one is chapter 3, research or project methodology, in week 5 until week 7. Moving on, after chapter 3, the methodology, we are going to learn about system analysis and system design. So this will be your chapter 4 in the PSM1 report. So in PSM1, you usually need to submit until chapter 4. So that means chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 4, analysis and design. But you still have to learn for the next chapter, which is chapter 5 and chapter 6. That is the system implementation and conclusion and future work. So both chapter 5 and 6, you have to continue in PSM2, but you have to learn it in PSM1 class, because in PSM2, there will be no more classes that you need to take. You only have to finish your prototype into a full-fledged system. So when we stop at chapter 5 and 6, after this, which is the conclusion and future work, we then move on to the lesson of preparation of PSM technical report. So the PSM technical report concerned with your AITCS proceeding. And then we also learn about your abstract, how to write an abstract in the PSM1 report. And then we go on to the presentation of PSM1 report. Usually this is not covered in as a lesson, but it will be included as an assignment for you to complete a presentation slide that you may use during your PSM1 and also in your assignment number 3. And that's why in week 12, 13, 14, usually we have concluded the lesson. Okay, this is the breakdown of the marks. I think you will find this a bit challenging to understand. I'll show you more on a more visualized version of it that you can relate to, okay? But essentially, we have quiz, assignments, chapter report, and logbook for the continuous assessment items. And we also have a final assessment item, which is your prototype and the seminar PSM1. So overall, this makes 60 and 40 to 100%. Okay, so you can start from now to find these references. Number one is the thesis writing guide. This is freely available in, I think, the Academic Management Office website, amo.uthm.edu.my. But for reference number two, it's you need to purchase it, but it's not used as heavily as reference number one. So even if you only have reference number one, it's already sufficient. But there are also other references that we recommend if you would like to try to get it. So there are these online references taken from the library, electronic book central or repository. I think if you click it and if you use your student account to access this link, you will be able to download and read about these references, okay? Okay, as the same with other classes, you have to make sure that you attend at least 80% of the classes. And if you fall sick or you are unable to attend during a university program, you need to make sure that you inform the class lecturer. Please provide the medical certificate letter or the university exemption letter to the lecturer to get an exemption. All right. What happens if your attendance is less than 80%? Of course, the lecturer will first notify you, or you can check yourself in your SMAP attendance app, right? And if there are no actions taken to rectify the situation, after you receive a warning letter, there is a possibility that you will be barred from either the presentation, the seminar PSM1, or you will be allowed to do the PSM1 seminar, but your marks will be blocked, or you will be treated as fail to attend. So you have to be careful with the class attendance, okay? Okay, so I think we are now covered the lesson plan. Do you have questions with the lesson plan? Okay, I take it as a no. So now we move on to a better visualization of the marks breakdown so that you'll understand how the PSM1 class works. Okay, I am the class lecturer. So even though, let's say if the next semester you won't find me as the class lecturer, there's somebody else as the class lecturer, this mark breakdown remains the same. So please pay attention to this, or you are also welcome to take a screenshot of this breakdown. Okay, DIC 31602 course has 100% marks, the same with other courses, but it is divided into three parts. Okay, the first part is the class marks, 35%. The second is the supervisor mark, also 35%. And lastly, the examiner marks, which is 30%. So there is a recent development I heard about between the supervisor mark and the seminar examiner mark, but until that is officialized or formalized, so we will remain with this percentage, but I think it will be formalized soon. Okay. So for the class, if you attend the 14 weeks class, you will have to earn your marks in terms of the quiz, 5%, and also the assignments, 30%. Okay, the 30% assignments consist of 3 assignments, assignment 1, assignment 2, and assignment 3. However, these assignments doesn't have the same portion in terms of marks. So assignment 1 doesn't mean it has 10%, 10% for assignment 2, and 10% for assignment 3. Not true. If I remember correctly, assignment 1 is only 9%. Assignment 2, I think is it 12%, or assignment 3 is 9, 12, 21, 9%. So one of these assignments have a heavier marks than the rest, depending on the assignment, of course. So please pay attention when you are given the assignment. Look at the marks breakdown for the assignment in terms of C, P, and A, cognitive, psychomotor, and affective percentage. Okay. So in the class, you will be taught the lesson on how to write your project and how to prepare for your software, right? Software development, but not at the technical level, more on the report content. And then you will be asked to do the assignments and quiz. And then at the same time, in these 14 weeks, you have to go and meet your supervisor. So supervisor holds 35% marks. 20% of it comes from your report chapter. So if you have gone through the briefing just now with Dr. Nufaradila, the PSM committee, did she show you the PSM timeline? Ada tak dia tunjuk PSM timeline? No. Is it yes or no? You know about PSM timeline? No. I guess it's a no. But okay, I can show you, but it's more on the PSM committee side. What I want to show you is for chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 that you are required to submit to the supervisor to earn the 20%. There's a due date for each chapter. Okay, I'll try to show you if I have that timeline available here. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. So I'm opening the star view of this, but there's a link to the student PSM SharePoint. Hold on. Waiting for it to appear. So it doesn't seem to appear. Maybe I need to open this page. Okay. Can you see this website? PSM Student SharePoint.
Yes.
Okay, yes. So what I want to show you in relation to the report chapter is this one. This is what we call as the PSM timeline. So let me just open this image. So each chapter, you need to submit to your supervisor, not your class lecturer, and there's a time for it for you to follow. So for instance, in this semester, PSM 1, chapter 1 is required to be sent to the supervisor on week 5, followed by chapter 2 on week 7, and then chapter 3 on week 9, and today, this week is the submission time for chapter 4. So please follow the timeline in order for you to earn 20% from your supervisor. So let's say if your supervisor forgets about it, or even you forget about it, once you remember it, or maybe ask your friend to remind you, you have to quickly make sure your supervisor receive it, or else you may miss the 20% mark from these chapters, because there's no other person who will give you these marks, only your supervisor. So that's why you need to maintain close communication with the supervisor. And then, as you can see, there is a difference of 15 marks here, right? So where do these 15 marks come from? The logbook make up 5%. Logbook is your meeting record with your supervisor. What I was told is what I'm told is for PSM1, the minimum requirement for the PSM meeting with supervisor is 7 times. That means you have 14 weeks. It must be once in every 2 weeks. So that's the math. But you can also do it weekly. Let's say you do the meeting from week 1 until week 8, right? So later, it means you have already fulfilled the full marks for your logbook. You can do 10 meetings, 12 meetings up to you later, but you still earn 5% for the logbook once you achieve the minimum 7 meetings, right? And this one comes from your supervisor too, the 5%. And the rest of it comes from your prototype. So that means, okay, let's look back at the timeline. Okay, this semester, you have to do, the students who takes this semester PSM1, they need to do a demonstration of the prototype on week 12 to the supervisor, and this contributes to the prototype marks for the supervisor. So that means you have to be disciplined. You have to arrange for your own time with the supervisor to achieve all these 35% marks. If you don't arrange it, there's a chance that you may miss some of the marks. So be careful with that. For classes, the time is already set by the faculty weekly, maybe 1 day, 2 hours, and the location is also set. So you just need to attend. But for your supervisor meeting and all of these marks, you need to arrange by yourself with the supervisor. Okay, lastly is the examiner's mark. This makes up 30% of the whole 100% marks for the course. So the 30% marks comes from, number one, the EITCS proceeding article. Number two, your seminar one presentation, PSM1 seminar presentation. And lastly, your prototype demo to the examiner that happens at the same time as the seminar presentation. So all of this makes 30 marks. If there's a possibility that you are unable to attend the seminar, then there's the possibility of you losing 30 marks. Or maybe you decide to submit the article, but you miss on the presentation, so you may lose part of it, part of the 30%, right? So this also falls to your responsibility on attending it. For the article, the timeline usually is the same. You need to submit all files on week 12. So starting from now, you have to make a mental note or possibly make an app reminder, calendar reminder that on week 12, on the next semester, is where every PSM1 files are due. The report, the article, and the presentation slide, I think, and also the prototype files, part of the prototype files. Okay, what else? So the presentation will be scheduled by the PSM1 committee, so don't have to worry. They will decide when you will be taking the presentation and where is it, and how many minutes you have to spend to do the presentation. Okay, from all of this, I'm not sure whether you notice or not, there is no marks on the project title defense or proposal defense, right? So yes, there's no marks on the proposal defense or project title defense. That usually happens on, let me check again on the timeline. It happens quite early. So this semester, it happened on week 2, the title defense. There's no marks for it. However, the result of the title defense determine whether you can proceed with the whole PSM1 class or not. So let's say you fail the title defense, you have to do another title defense. So you have to repeat the process of defending your proposal or defending your title, and it will take time, of course. But of course, you can still run for the class, but unless you fail multiple times and you don't wish to proceed with the course BIC 31602, then maybe you can do the insert delete phase, right? Where you remove this course code from your registration. Or later, we also provide week 7 where the student can withdraw from the course if you feel that the course takes up too much of your commitment. So you can see, you have to meet the supervisor 7 times. You have to attend the class 14 weeks. You also have to do assignments, 3 assignments, quiz, proceeding article, prepare a presentation slide, 2 actually. First on title defense, then the next one on your PSM1 seminar. And lastly, of course, you need to complete a prototype. So it requires a lot of your commitment for the class. Okay, we talked about the continuous assessment and the final assessment in the lesson plan. So this is how it is broken down into. As you know, we have applied the passing marks, minimum passing marks for the CA component and the FA component. So make sure for continuous assessment that consists of these class marks 35%, the chapters 20%, and the logbook 5%, you have to achieve at least 12% to pass the continuous assessment component. And then for the final assessment component, FA, make sure you achieve at least 8% on the marks for prototype, which is on the examiner and also supervisor, and the seminar, which is this part, 30%. So make sure you achieve at least 8% for this FA. So as you know, if either of these is not achieved, then you are considered as failing the course. So you have to be careful on the minimum passing marks for CA and also FA. Okay. So this is just another explanation on the lesson plan. So if you look at the lesson plan, you can relate to the marks breakdown of these marks. Okay. Okay, this is I think this is our last slide. Yes, this is our last topic on the course. So because I'm the class lecturer, you have to remember there is a clear separation between the class lecturer role, the PSM committee role, and the supervisor role, and also the examiner's role. So when you are in class, the 14 weeks, what you have to do is make sure you attend at least 80% of the 14 weeks lecture. And if you are unable to attend, please provide proof of your absence, medical leave certificate from the UTHM Health Center, PKU, or if you don't have it, the government clinics, or if you get one from a private clinic, you have to bring it to the UTHM Health Center for endorsement, PKU. So this is important. In the rules, it does say that we are not accepting private clinics medical leave. Actually, you have to bring it to the PKU for them to endorse your medical leave. Okay, or if you attend a lot of university program, I believe some of you are very active students, right? Make sure you get a university exemption letter, and it must be from UTHM. So that means in the maybe some days you need to attend a program from a different IPKA. For example, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, UKM, right? And you receive a letter from the UKM that has the UKM logo on it, and it states your name as the participant. So that is not an acceptable university exemption letter actually. You must make sure that you either contact your PAK or your faculty or your or the Student Affairs Center of UTHM, ask them to help you in getting the UTHM university exemption letter for the program. Okay. Okay, the last one is, of course, you need to make sure you complete all assessments in the class. Quiz, assignment 1, 2, and assignment 3. So the don'ts for this class is actually the same for other classes as well, right? Just make sure that your absence does not be more than 20% for the 14 weeks lecture. And then please make sure you don't fail to notify your absenteeism to the class lecturer. And then, of course, don't ignore all the assessment submission, which is quiz, assignment 1, assignment 2, and assignment 3. So sometimes it does happen. Some students forgot to submit their assignments in author or forgot to submit their assignments other ways, which is they don't inform the lecturer, and at the end of the course, when the marks come out, then they realize that they have something missing from their marks, and when they make further inquiry, then they know that they did not submit their assignments. So make sure you check author regularly on the individual activity submission and make sure that you have already submitted the assignment. There are also cases where student do a wrong submission. They submit the assignment, but they submit the wrong files. That's what I want to say. So sometimes it's an assignment from a different class, you know. So make sure when you upload your assignment, try to download it again, read it, and make sure it's the right assignment. So that can happen as well. There are also other instances where students, instead of submitting their files, their submission files, they re-upload the instruction, the assignment instruction, without the answer or without the solution. So that can also happen. Either way, I urge you to double check every time you submit your assignment, because the marks of the assignment in this course is very big, right? Quiz plus assignment is 35%. Okay, some other confusions that commonly happens in the class is these topics. So please, I do urge you, if you are in class, you can ask about the class attendance, the quiz, the assignments, and also the PSM report formatting and content. Because every lecturer that is assigned to the class, they specialize on the program. So if you are a BIP student, the class lecturer will be someone from the software engineering department that teaches BIP program students. Or if there are BIS students registered for the PSM1 class, the faculty will assign a BIS, a lecturer from the information security department to teach the BIS content for the PSM report. So make sure you ask about the report formatting and content for the PSM from the class lecturer. But if you are in class, it's not actually appropriate if you ask about where to submit the PSM report, where to submit the AITCS proceeding, because this concerns the PSM committee. They will usually release a guide like this. So this is not released by me. That's why I a bit hesitant to show it to you in the first place, because I don't want you to confuse. So this SharePoint hub or portal is prepared by the PSM committee for you. So just follow all their instructions here, including the report, the forms that you need to fill in throughout the process from week 1 until week 14, right? And follow the timeline that they specify. Okay. Okay. And please don't ask the class lecturer about marks that does not belong to the class. Remember, we have only 35% marks that belong to the class, but the rest belongs to the supervisor and examiners. So for that marks, you have to ask to the right person. So if it's about the logbook or the PSM report marks, chapter 1 until chapter 4, it's better if you ask about that with your supervisor. Okay, if it's about the proceeding article, so this mark belongs to the examiner. And if it's about the prototype, you can ask either the supervisor or the examiner about it. But for class lecturer, it's not because we don't want to entertain question, it's because we don't have the right to grade you on these items. So if we give you answers, it's not the definite answer. So it must come from someone who can grade you on these items, okay? And lastly, if you notice in this website just now, the PSM Student SharePoint, I told you about a lot of forms. From Form A until Form R1, R2, and R3. So this belongs to the PSM committee. You are not supposed to ask this in class because even if you ask, it's constantly updated. So the class lecturer may not have the most updated answer to these forms. So it's better if you ask it in the PSM committee WhatsApp group. I believe they will create a WhatsApp group for the PSM committee later. Okay, so I think that summarizes all of our content for the PSM1 course briefing. Do you have questions regarding this briefing? Okay.
Yeah.
So far, nothing yet. So would you like to discuss maybe perhaps situation where it's possible or not possible to get marks? So would you like to discuss about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So like I mentioned, the first case where it's there is a situation where you may not get the marks is when you forget to submit your assignment, right? For the assignments, there's a due date for each assignment, and it's usually given little by little, gradually. Usually from week 1 until week 5, you will be given assignment 1, for example. And then week 5 until week 8, you will be given assignment 2. And then week 9 until week, perhaps week 13, will be given assignment 3. But usually us lecturer are quite, how do you call it? We are not strict on the submission time. If you feel that you miss one of these assignments, you can still ask leniency from the lecturer to submit it. Okay, you still lose marks, but the marks for late submission, the penalty is not that big. So make sure you have the chance to still submit it before you submit all PSM1 files, which is on week 13. It's very important because unlike other courses, this course, PSM1, we conclude the PSM marks quite early. Usually in the first or second week of the final examination week, we already have the results for the PSM overall marks. But it's just that it's not endorsed yet at the faculty. So at that time, you may have to make sure that all assignments is submitted. Okay. So what else? Is there any concern? Do you have any concern when you take PSM1 later? So for quiz, it's also the same. If you miss the quiz, you can still ask the lecturer if you can retake the quiz or maybe do other exercises to cover it. So if you have no further questions, you are still welcome to ask me questions. My room is at Bilik Pensyarah 11, level 2, or you can also WhatsApp me. My number is 018-702-1052. And it's better if you ask me of you or if you contact me during office hour only, because after office hour you may not get the usual quick response from me. Okay, so that will be all from today. Thank you so much for attending this session. I think I will share the recorded version later, so feel free to leave the room now and feel free to review the recorded version later. All right, thank you.